Hey, what's up, YouTubers? This is Renee, and it's 63. Yeah, she needs work. She's beautiful just the way she is. I picked her up about a year ago. Traded her in for, I actually traded my 65 VW Bug that I had restored for this 63 Nova. Came with a small block 350. Don't know much about the history of the engine, and sorry about the camera, but that's pretty much what it came with there. It's a 350 small block, an old one. It's got the old oil filler tube, old school. I took out the radiator that was here. The radiator that was here was shot, and it actually was rusted out from within and caused water to go into the transmission through the fluid lines, thus destroying all the friction plates of the transmission. So that thing wouldn't go into third gear. It take forever to go into reverse and finally kick in, and it was just ready for a rebuild. So I pulled the tranny out and checked out automatic transmission rebuild video that Hiram put up. I don't remember his last name, but you'll find it. Just do a search on TH350 rebuild, and he's probably like the first one that'll come up, Hiram. So I watched his video and followed it step by step and did my own rebuild on a TH350. Did it right there on that bench right there, that messy bench. So I just put that transmission on that bench and just started tearing into it. And well, since I rebuilt the transmission, I put it in and started the engine up, and right away it started springing leaks. It sprang a leak on the fluid lines, which was an easy fix. And then I had another leak coming from the dipstick seal, because the dipstick seal that I had was junk. So I had to replace the dipstick, and I got that little $19 dipstick. Finally, after I had started it up and got the leaks fixed, had a hard time going into reverse. It just wouldn't go. I put it in a drive, it'd go forward, go back to reverse, nothing. I'm like, oh man, I just must have did something wrong. So, long story short, decided to take the valve body out, just go through it completely, clean it up really good, and replace the intermediate servo seal, which was questionable when I put it in. I knew I should have put a new one in. It came with the kit and everything, and I just failed to do that. But anyways, put the new seal in there, decided to go ahead and get a shift improver kit, B&M's shift improver kit. Yeah, I'm a Raider fan. There it is, B&M shift improver kit, and installed that while I had the valve body out, and reassembled everything. Had the thing on jack stands, but tires were probably about 8 inches off the ground, and started it up, revved it up, put it in drive, and drive worked fine. So then I went to reverse and nothing. And I'm like, no way. So I put it back in drive. And this is after adding all the fluid. I put 8 quarts of fluid in there initially. And I drained out all the old fluid. Just tossed it out because I wasn't about to reuse that fluid, even though it was fresh. Went ahead and put it in drive again, revved it up, let the wheels spin, probably about 3,000 RPM, I don't know. And then I went to put it in reverse after putting, applying the brakes and letting the wheels come to a stop. When I put it in reverse, and I get this winding sound, and all of a sudden, bam, it kicks into reverse. That was music to my ears. So it kicked into reverse, and now it goes into reverse consistently. No hesitation. Goes into drive consistently. No hesitation. I still haven't taken it out for a test run. There's my original headliner. It's a shame it had to be torn up back there, but I think I'm zoomed in too much. Oh, no, I'm not. So, yeah, it looks like I got to take it out. I got to see what it's about. Hopefully my work, time, and effort on rebuilding my first tranny, is a success. I think it's a success so far because it goes into drive. It goes into drive in reverse. No more leaks. But we'll see. So yeah. So I'll go ahead and post another video. Hopefully of somebody videotaping me, taping. I'm so old school. Somebody recording me driving down the street in this beauty, this gem. Yeah, I know she's not all prettied up and anything, but still, she's badass. Check out that quarter panel. She could use some love. That's going to happen pretty soon. I'm going to do all the metal work myself. But, I couldn't pass up on this deal. The bug I had was cherry. I mean, it was done. And I always wanted a heavy Chevy. It's a little Chevy, but it's a heavy one. So I went ahead and got this bad boy. Straight across, no money exchanged. He took the bug, nicely, freshly painted. The only thing it didn't have was a motor. That's it. But everything was done. Wiring, paint, pan off restoration, all new rubber. I mean, that bug was ready to just pop a motor in and go. And you were cruising in a beautiful bug. But I love these Chevys so much. I love these old Chevys. If I could ever get my hands on one, I always said that. I'm going to go for it. It's so hard to find a nice little Chevy these days without spending your life savings. There was a time when you used to be able to pick these up for $1,500, even less than that, running, and they weren't rust buckets either. In better shape than this, but I'm not knocking this one. I like the interior on this one. It's got to go, but I like the style. I like that two-tone look. I like the color. So I'm going to go ahead and get it done up the same factory way. That's what I want to do. That's my plan. The old bench seat. Man, I remember this as a kid. Jumping in the back seat of my friend's dad's old car. He had a 58 Impala. And we'd go to the batting cages in that bad boy. And we'd all load up in that. And that was just his daily driver, 58 Impala. I'm not that old. Actually, I am old. I'm going to be 55, so. Anywho. So what I did was I put this radiator in. This was already here, but it was wired wrong. So I got it all set up to where the alternator light, or the alternator gauge, it turns on initially when you turn the ignition on, and then when you see where it says generator, when you turn the key on, that turns on. When you turn the ignition on and you start the car, immediately it turns off, which is an indication that it's the alternator is doing the job. And this is also a backup 12 volt meter to, also indicate that it's charging properly, and it does go up to 14. So little things like that. I want to get that squared away before I even start to mess with the body or do any of the paint. I want to make sure the drivetrain's good. So again, coming back to the radiator, put a new radiator in, new hoses, fresh fluid, threw in those what are those, 8mm, 9mm spark plug wires, and I put this new battery in. It's cheapy. It's from Walmart, but it's cool. And I made this bracket. I mean, this battery ain't going anywhere. You see that? That's a metal. This is all metal right here, and I welded this stud to the top of the metal, and at the base of the metal, I put like a hook, and I welded that in, and I made a hole on the tray, and then just hooked it up. So it's all stable. It's not going anywhere. I'd rather have an ugly looking bracket than no bracket and have this battery going bouncing around and cause all kinds of issues. Now, maybe later on down the line I'll get something nice, get a really nice battery. But for now, that's going to do, just so I can take this car out for a test spin. Again, I'll post all that up later, and you'll see if I was a success or not. There she is in all her beauty. Let me back up so you can see yeah. So, and this rear view mirror here, this particular rear view mirror is not the original mirror, but it does have a lot of character. I like it. Check that out. It's got this little curvature going on in here, and back here it's got this cool, just a nice setup right here. It's almost like a brushed aluminum, but I don't think that's original. Oh, it's got a little bump there. That's not cool. No, actually that's factory. Trip out. So yeah, so I don't know. And it's not all wobbly, so it stays firm, so you can adjust it. I don't know if I should keep it or not. Question is whether or not it's original to this car. I know what the old Chevy rearview mirrors look like. They're pretty plain, round. They got the little Chevy bow tie, but I wouldn't mind just keeping this, clean it up, put it where it belongs. I think it should be around here somewhere. But we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to sign out, and you guys will be able to see later on the video of me cruising down the road. All right, take it easy, people.